Good night, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Locked and Loaded. My name is Judah, and tonight I am joined by the lovely Sharyn and Glenn. We have a packed show for you. We welcome you to share the video with your friends. Share the link, let them know that Locked and Loaded is on, and we're ready, and we have a lot in store. We are so excited. Can you not see the excitement on all of our faces? We're extremely excited for this show. So before we get into it, though, we just like to give you a bit of information about ourselves. Well, as I said, my name is Judah, and what can I say about me? I'm a music enthusiast, specifically Afrobeats. Afrobeats is my favorite genre. I'm also heavy into social media as a vocation, as something that I do for a living. So that's a bit about me. Sharyn and Glenn, let everyone know about you, please.
Okay, hi, my name is Sharyn. I'm currently studying psychology in Canada, but I'm here in Barbados right now. My favorite color is pink. I love pink. I too love Afrobeats, and I am a kind of music enthusiast, it's still growing for me. Like I'm still searching and discovering. So yeah. What about you, Glenn?
Hi guys, welcome to Locked and Loaded. My name is Glenn Eversley. I love music just like these two, and if you know me, you know that I love music. And if you don't know me, you know now. Thank you for tuning in tonight, guys. We have a packed show for you, as Judah has said before. Right now, we're going to get into the featured video for the night. It's a music video from V-Rose. It's called Am I Trending? And we're going to play it for you right now, guys.
Standing up for the truth. Hear it loud, hear it strong. And we not turn it down. Hear the voice of the youth. Standing up.
You are watching Locked and Loaded on EKCO Nation.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Should I drink it up? Should I pour my life into the cup? Would that make me down enough? Am I trending? Am I trending? Should I show off what I got? Just so they can say I'm hot. Does he love me? Does he love me? Love me not? Am I trending? Am I trending? But you just wanna be the hot topic. But oh nah. What lengths will you go to stay topping, stay popular? So obsessive, like am I trending? I know that you heard this before, but choose it now. Who do you love more? You think you're serving God, but you're not. If you ain't that number one in that spot, it's all bad. But there's a chance to change all that. Cause I know that you're not all bad. You just think that people like that, so you act like that. Yeah. Should I go bad? Should I forget my manners where they at? Shouldn't I do these things just to keep up with the fad? Am I trending? Am I trending? Should I do it because they told me to? Should I jump off the bridge right after you? Don't care, I hurt myself, long as they think that I'm cool. Am I trending? 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 Care what you think? Care what you think? Am I trending? Am I trending?
Everybody wanna be trending right now. honest self. Can't be that healthy. Am I the trending topic? Somebody help me. I need some therapy. Some Theraflu. I need my fit. I need my click. I need my view. So let's say they trying to say that it don't take faith. They know. Then they replace grace. Now you obey, do what they say. You gon' do it your way, find out you wrong. Do what you won't, find out you wrong. He can save you though, really save you though. Don't matter what you want.
But oh, you just wanna be the hot topic. But oh, nah. What lengths will you go to stay topping, stay popular? So obsessive like M.I. trending. I know that you heard this before, but choose it now. Who do you love more? You think you're serving guy, but you're not. If you ain't that number one in that spot, it's all bad. But there's a chance to change all that. Cause I know that you're not all bad. You just think that people like that, so you act like that. Yeah.
You are watching Locked and Loaded on EKCO Nation.
All right.
Guys, that was great. I was actually bumping all the way through the song. It's a very decent and deep song. If y'all have been listening to those lyrics, I love that song. And I only came across it a couple weeks ago. It's absolutely amazing. But yeah, guys, just before we go ahead, I just want to plug at EKCO Nation real quick. Thank you for allowing us to put on this show. EKCO Nation is a great charity. Go support them. And we're going to get into the Do It for the Likes topic. But before we get into that, guys, what do you think about the music video?
Well, I think it's deep. It definitely sets a good platform for what we're talking about tonight, because it really sheds light on the fact that a lot of us are what we do and what we post and stuff like that. Sometimes we're just doing it to be trending, as the title of the song suggests, or so that people like us. So I'm very excited now, even more so for when we get into actually talking about it.
Yeah, it's like really fitting. And there are these lyrics that I actually wrote that said, we want to be the hot topic, but what are we doing to stay popular? So like, we want people to like us, follow us. We want to be trending, but we really do have to sit down and think about like, what is this that I'm posting? What is this that I'm putting out? Why am I doing this? You know? So yeah, it's very applicable to what we're talking about.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey guys, thank you. Yeah, and right now we actually have some words from some young people across the island. Yeah, shout out Trey. He's actually going to see his face shortly. Yeah, so we have some people. It's called What Was the Vibe. We're going to show some videos now. Some young people giving some information now. So yeah.
Cause them say that I'm too young. And being young to some means you're always wrong. But I like that.
Hi guys, my name is Shakaya. When I was asked this question, I thought about it for a while. And I think that most young persons engage in activities such as posting exquisite photos of themselves on Instagram and stuff like that, mainly because they want the attention and the fame, or clout as we call it now, from engaging in these activities. I also think people want to be liked by others within their generation, like by their peers, like by their friends. And overall, these people just want to be considered popular.
A lot of the trends we see with social media, especially the more negative as it relates to body image and that craving to be popular by any means necessary, I honestly think that those are not new. It's just that social media has provided a new platform for them, but we've been seeing it for years, whether it's in billboards, whether it's in magazines. We've always been surrounded by these so-called standards of living and beauty and all of that.
Hi, I'm Michelle, and when it comes to bullying, I believe that envy is really at the core, because people might be trying to discourage others who are seemingly doing better than they are, or perhaps they themselves have been abused in some form and so they're taking it on others. Then as it relates to when people post provocative videos or pictures of themselves on social media, I think that in some cases they may be seeking validation or love. I also believe that self-identity and expectations are involved, because some young people might place their worth in their appearances. So by them receiving a positive response, they're more inclined to post even if they themselves may not like it. Apart from that, I think that if we are able to see everyone through the lens of the one created us, only then can we really love. Because if we see everyone, ourselves included, as precious enough to die for, then most of the negative trends that we see on social media today would not exist.
Hey guys, Philip K here. My answer to that question is music and video. Now, there's a trend going on with war songs, and oftentimes associated with these war songs are heavy acts of promiscuity. And if you look at the music videos of these highly influential artists, that's all you see. Given the pandemic that we're going through now, you would see a heavier presence of these two: song, music, and video.
Hello, Locked and Loaded. My name is Listra Husbands, and I think that people post to follow social media trends just because. Just because of it's popular, it's cool to them. There's no thought behind it. There's no deep processing. Like how some of us we would generally think about the whole process of why am I posting this? What's the content? Is it uplifting? Will it hurt someone? Is this offensive? Who will this affect? I think that for some of us that's the route we take, but for others there's no deep thought behind it and it's just an act to them to post. Thank you for listening.
You are watching Locked and Loaded on EKCO Nation.
Those wonderful young people for their different perspectives. It's awesome to get all of those different perspectives. To be honest, it was great. It was amazing. What do you guys think about those videos?
Yeah, I there are a lot of different opinions that people have. So I just want to thank them again. So that would be Shakaya, Michelle, Trey, Philip, and Alicia. I think I like the fact that there are a lot of people who have like certain opinions and they're right. Like I don't think that any one of them is incorrect because there's so many reasons why people post certain things. I know Lister would have spoken about the fact that sometimes people don't even think about it. Like they're just like kind of subconsciously post, and then you have people like, okay, they're following trends, like they're looking at celebrities, they're looking at other people. I remember Shakaya would have spoken about clothes, like they want to have those likes and they want that validation, and it goes to like people are searching for this validation. I believe like they like how it feels to get these likes, and it's actually biological. So like we have dopamine inside of us, which is important in our reward system. So when we get rewards, we get a rush of dopamine. You experience that same rush when you get likes. So if you get that rush and you like that rush, you're gonna continue doing what gives you that rush. So that's where you're gonna have people who start doing these things, like they're gonna continue, and it becomes their norm. Yeah. So what do you think, Judah?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts, but I'm just gonna be brief here. And before we continue, we do want to say again good night to everybody who is joining in. We see you guys coming through. We are so happy that you're joining us for this first episode of Locked and Loaded. Do it for the likes. We also invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on Instagram, and we also have a website, www.ekonation.com. So I agree. We did get quite a few different opinions in the Was the Vibe segment where persons were answering that question that you see there. What's driving our social media culture? I definitely think it's all of the above. And I know we're going to get into two specific angles as Sharyn would have highlighted. So before we get into that, we do have a challenge for the week. So let's get into the challenge. This week, we challenge you to do a social media sweep. If we could just see the graphic that is coming up. Social media sweep is basically checking your Instagram, for example, or your Snapchat. It's an assessment. So you go through your page or your account and you say, okay, so what is it that I am posting? What kind of content am I posting on my pages? What kind of messages are the content that I'm posting, sending? Good night to you, College Boss and Shimona. So it's about assessing the conduct, as Listra, one of our contributors in it was the vibe segment would have said, is the content that you're posting uplifting? Is that affecting someone? Sometimes we might post sexual content and stuff like that. So it's really to do a reflection on that. And if you find that your content for your pages or your profiles, could be, a bit better, then we challenge you to make some changes, asking the questions, okay, so what have I found that I can continue posting, like pleasant selfies and stuff, versus what is it that I see that I am putting out there or sharing or finding entertaining or even watching that is not so great. And then we encourage you guys to cut back on that or to fully stop it if you are so bold, so that we can have a healthier conduct on our social media page. So that is the challenge of the week. We would love to hear from you in terms of how that goes. I know some of us have already started, which is great. You can also find the information on our Instagram page. And now I'm going to hand over to Sharyn, who will give us a very great tip for this week.
You are watching Locked and Loaded on EKCO Nation.
It isn't uncommon for the cell phone to be the first thing that we pick up on mornings. And then time just seems to fly by. It's late. And we realize that we are still on our phones. But what if we could be somewhat freed or liberated from these devices, even during quarantine time? Here are some tips on how we can reduce our cell phone use. On many Apple devices, there's something known as screen time, where you can check how often you use your phone. You can set downtime to determine when you don't want to use your phone. And then there are app limits, when you can determine how often you use certain chosen apps. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Now, Samsung lovers, we have not forgotten you. For many newer Samsung models, there's something known as digital well-being, which is very similar to screen time of the Apple phone. You can see how often you use your phone, you can set screen time goals, and there are even app timers, which are very similar to app limits on the Apple phone. Now, for those of us who cannot do these things, there is still hope. Many apps have been created that we can use not just to curb social media use, but phone use on a whole. So have fun as you discover apps and choose the one that is right for you. Now remember, there's so many other things that we can do. We can pick up hobbies, read books, or just enjoy the company of our family. And remember, stay safe.
Welcome back, guys, to Locked and Loaded. Sharyn, thank you for that amazing tip. It was awesome. I hope you guys really took in what you just saw there. And remember to share and like this video and subscribe to our page, EKCO Nation. And for right now, let's get into the DM. We're going to start off by talking about digital citizenship. And
there's
to
a
lead us
challenge
off,
about that now that you're stuttering, and there's a challenge for that, isn't there?
wow. Yes,
Can
we have
you
a
do
challenge
some
later on
citizenship?
about DC that we're going to be asking you guys to participate in. But for right now, we're going to ask Gozi, the founder of EKCO Nation, to just talk to us a bit about digital citizenship. Gozi?
Good night to everybody. It's a pleasure to be here on Locked and Loaded. I'm so excited for you guys, man. For real. I'm enjoying the show already. And if you are enjoying the show, make sure to share some love, send some love to Glenn and to Sharyn, to Judah. I think they're doing a tremendous job. Already, we have a lot of information from you guys. So I'm just going to do what I'm supposed to do. which is talk about digital citizenship. What is digital citizenship, Glenn? That's what it's called. All right. So before we get there, I just want to give some definitions. Social media are websites and applications that facilitate the creation and sharing of information, ideas, interests, and other forms of expression via virtual communities and networks. And especially in this lockdown time, a lot of our young people are spending a lot of hours on social media. But I just want to warn you about something, which is that especially for young people, there is an act called COPA. So if you're under the age of 13, you are not allowed legally by the COPA Act to have a social media account. So if you have a social media account and you're under the age of 13, it means you had to lie about your age. And actually, that's not good digital citizenship, because in the physical realm, we don't walk about falsifying our IDs just to get access to things. Right? So we don't want you to do the same thing in the digital realm. So just as we have physical citizenship, we also have digital citizenship. So once you have an email address, any type of account online, you will have a digital profile. So let's get into what exactly digital citizenship is, right? And digital citizenship is all about being safe, confident, and positive in terms of your engagement with digital technologies. A lot of these technologies are here. They're wonderful to use, really creative. You can do a lot of things with them, but we want you to be safe and confident and positive with how you engage these technologies. So we want you to do that also with how you communicate with others and how you participate in the digital community and the type of content you create as well as consume. So when we look at digital citizenship, it's all about your conduct, it's all about your contact, and it's all about your content. So guys, that is it in a nutshell. Digital citizenship is all about your conduct online. It's all about your contact. Who do you engage online and how do you engage them? It's all about the content that you create and consume. So I want to thank you all guys. And as Jude said, yes, we do have a challenge.
Yikes.
Can you say digital citizenship 3 times, Glenn? Can you do it? Can you do it? And we want to challenge all of you who are watching the show. Can you do that? Can you say digital citizenship 3 times? Go ahead, Glenn. Let me hear you.
Digital citizenship, digital citizenship, digital citizenship. Good.
Wow.
Right.
That was good.
Don't come for me.
We already know we can't do this. Digital citizenship, digital citizenship, digital citizenship.
Right.
That was better.
That was good. That was good. Let's see if Judah can get it done.
Oh dear. Okay. Digital citizenship, digital citizenship, digital citizenship.
Wow. Y'all saying it too slow though. Wow. I don't understand.
Okay, it's your turn though.
Send us your videos saying this. Send it to us. I'm going to try to do it not slow like you guys. I'm going to actually try to do it really fast. Get ready. Right. Digital citizenship, digital citizenship, digital citizenship.
I hear those Rangers, no.
Whatever.
It was good.
So good night, guys.
Thank you so much, Gazi.
Yes,
have a good night.
You are watching Locked and Loaded on EKCO Nation.
Okay, yes, so that was Ghazi, founder of EKCO Nation. He would have spoken to us about digital citizenship, which includes conduct, contact, and content. And today we're going to be specifically speaking on conduct. So our social media conduct, like how do we conduct ourselves on social media? What do we post? What do we like? What do we comment? Stuff like that. So do you guys have any input similar to the What's the Vibe video? What's your opinions on people's conduct on social media? Why do they do what they do?
Well, I think there can be many different reasons, as we would have mentioned before. But what I would say is like a common theme is just the psychological thing behind it, though. Like, what do people get from posting these things? What is the reasoning behind it? what are they seeking, even subconsciously sometimes without even being aware of it. So yeah, it could be very psychological without us even knowing what we're doing or why we're doing it.
Glenn?
Yeah, so I believe a lot it has to do with the influence from a lot of public figures and celebrities and whatnot, and also peer pressure, because everyone is on Instagram, everyone is on Facebook, everyone is on Twitter. So like you want to keep up and you want to stay in the loop. So a lot of people are just doing what it takes to be relevant nowadays.
Yeah.
And yeah, to me, it has a lot to do with those three things. And yeah, that's it for me.
Yep. I want to encourage you guys to continue sending your comments. What do you think? Why do you think people do what they do on social media? So while you send your comments, I am just going to introduce a video from Brightside that we are showing about certain things that we post on social media, certain selfies and what they say about us. So I am going to go over to that now.
You are watching Locked and Loaded on EKCO Nation.
What do our photos on our accounts say about us? What hidden complexes or secret desires, which sometimes even we don't realize, do they tell the world? Let's analyze the most common types of photos in social networks. Selfies. We're talking about different types of selfies in the mirror, elevator looks, fit chicks, and others. Honestly, it's one of the most popular kinds of photos these days. But do you know what your selfies mean for others? The abundance of selfies in one's account reveals the extreme need for recognition and approval of others, self-centeredness, vanity, and a penchant for narcissism. Sexy selfies. Yes, the duck face or an attractively emphasized outline of the body. Posting these photos, women literally tell the world, I'm a liberated, ready to experiment woman. Think about whether you need to show the world so openly that you're on the market by using your body as bait and a way to sell yourself. Keep in mind that men seeking a serious relationship won't take such bait.
You are watching Locked and Loaded on EKCO Nation.
Yep. So that was the opinions on selfies and sexy selfies. I just want to bring to like two comments that were brought up by Kiki and Shade about attention, that people are doing it for attention. So just to recap what was said, they said that for selfies, there's that extreme need for recognition, which goes back to the attention that was brought up. And then the sexy selfies, which is like a way of saying, I am liberated, ready to experiment. So what do you guys think about that? Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? Send us your comments on those two types of selfies that we post. So Judah, I'm going to ask you, what do you think about that? What are your opinions?
Well, right off the bat, we see the first example, which is regular selfies. We see that the video said that persons sometimes do this for validation, as our commenters just would have said. So we're seeing a really common theme here, which proves to us, okay, this is a thing. This is not just something that we're mentioning out of the blue. Like, as the young people say, low key, a lot of us are posting what we post because we want persons to show us approval, because we want persons to say, okay, yes sis, you look good, and stuff like that. And I think that in a way that can have negative effects. But before we get into that, I also want to note that the example of the selfie was a celebrity, and that sheds light on the fact that celebrities sometimes do influence some things that we post and some trends that we follow. Even so, something as simple as the angle, because celebrities get that kind of feedback. They have thousands, sometimes millions of people telling them how good they look and what's not. And by the way, we're not saying that it's wrong to post selfies. That's not the angle we're coming from. But it's interesting to explore the reasoning behind it.
Yep, definitely. Like the selfie, the celebrity that she's speaking of, was, you saw that it said J Lo, and yeah, so there are people who post selfies for validation. They post selfies because they see celebrities and they see celebrities getting these likes and they want these likes too. So they post them and they hope to get the same side of fulfillment that, they think that these celebrities are getting. Glenn, what are your opinions?
Well, I am seeing a comment from Trey. He's saying if we're talking about attention, social media does have the potential to bring attention to good causes as well. That's a very true statement.
Correct.
It's very true. So he's saying also, so attention isn't always a bad thing when it comes to social media. Very true comments, Trey.
Mhm.
Thank you for that contribution. I regarding the video though, when it was talking about sexy selfies and at the end when it was specifically
Mhm.
saying, most guys wouldn't be interested in a woman who's posting these type of selfies if he longs for a long term and serious relationship.
Very
Let
Mhm.
me
ironic.
confirm that that is true. I
Yeah.
just need a backup from all the guys that who watching this video in chat to also confirm that
Is
this
that
is true.
true, guys?
Yeah,
Is that
just so that
true?
they know. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, people do these things for a lot of reasons, from
Mhm.
selfies to sexy selfies, the duck face. I don't see anyone doing that anymore, to be honest. But yeah, we actually have another part of the video we're going to show right now. So you guys stay tuned.
You are watching Locked and Loaded on EKCO Nation.
Glamour looks. The abundance of such photos in your account reveals a need for narcissistic support and emotional strokes in the form of likes and comments. This is a reason to think about your self esteem and alternative ways to build it, not depending on likes and the virtual world. Photos with luxury goods. Posting photos with the background of yachts or expensive cars is a way to tell the world about your success, often imaginary or desired. People who post those photos simply want to emphasize a particular status and declare, "My life is great."
That's
Welcome
another
back,
interesting
guys.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have been Glamour Lux. And Glamour Lux was, they're talking about getting emotional strokes in the form of likes. And to me, that just like directly hits like the whole validation that we were talking about. Like getting emotional strokes from likes and you expecting to be, just validated by a virtual world. And they also encouraged us to look for other ways that we can seek that validation. And then they would have spoken about photos with luxury goods. Personally, like I can't identify with that. I have never taken photos with luxury goods. I know there's some people that might pass somewhere and see a fancy car, so they take out their phone and they take a picture of the fancy car.
Mm-hmm.
I have never done that. Never. But yeah, do you guys agree with what they were talking about?
Yeah, for sure. But I'm seeing in the comments a lot of people are also highlighting the more positive side of taking pictures and that kind of stuff. Someone is
Mhm.
saying, Amanda Brown is saying, some people do it to capture moments and places, and that is true. Because I know for me, no, well, because of the place I'm at, no. Like I would take pictures, I would take selfies, doing a lot of crazy things. I would take pictures of different things, and it's just for fun. Sometimes it's just for that. I'm not seeking validation. I
Mhm.
actually haven't posted on Instagram in so long. So I don't know if that's why you can see that. Yeah, but it's true. It is true. A lot of people just take pictures for fun, and then you have the other side where people really seek validation. And I
Mhm.
can actually speak on that. I remember this was early in my secondary school years, growing up skinny little man, bald head, and you understand. So you
Right.
have to face, you have to see all the cute girls at school and whatnot. So you want to look decent. You start to change these different things. Instagram existed, Facebook existed, so you want to look decent now. So you
Mhm.
Right.
post. You post a picture, I want to get 11 likes. You gotta take it down because you don't want your crush thinking that you are nothing. You understand? So like, yeah, that was a phase. That was a whole phase I grew up early, thank God. But yeah,
Mhm.
like these things happen. These things happen. This is real, and it's something that needs to be addressed. What do you guys think?
I agree with that. And a lot of what the comments are saying too. We thank you. We enjoying your conversation even as you're speaking amongst yourselves in your live comments. So please continue to do that. It's good. And
Yeah.
I remember there was a comment by Kiki Hill, and she talked about, certain types of affirmations becoming addictive and then leading to greater use of the social media. Exactly, which relates to something that Sharon was sharing earlier about the dopamine triggers in our brain. For those who don't know, dopamine is a hormone in your brain that is released as a reward for something that you do that is good. So when you get validation, when you get positive feedbacks and people, hail you up and stuff like that, that releases the dopamine, which is a biological response, as Sharon would have said, and that is the biology behind why social media and all the likes and the retweets and the sharing and everything, why that does become addictive, as Kiki was saying. So in terms of the glamour looks and Glenn's example just now, I can relate. I can relate to that on a personal level. But Glenn would have already, shared his thing, so I'll just
No,
hold on.
we still want to hear you.
Yeah,
It's
go
fun.
ahead.
We still want to hear you, Judah. Come. Let's go.
Okay, well, before I share my personal experience, we do have another section of the video, but we see a comment here saying that one sporty. I assume this is talking about Glenn's thing. He used to just tell people about it so they would take a look to like my pictures. I always like to post cringe art sport though. Okay. So I guess we're talking about the types of things that they would have posted and why they would have posted it, which is totally fine.
Strange times.
Yeah. I think too though that sometimes taking down our pictures, that kind of speaks to a possible negative effect of when we seek social media validation,
Yeah.
because then that affects our self-esteem. If we're being honest, sometimes we end up having very low self-esteem, which affects all areas of our life really. So as we think about that, let's get into Natasha, hi, let's get into the next section of the video.
You are watching Locked and Loaded on EKCO Nation.
Photos without filters and Photoshop. Such photos say that these people perceive themselves as they are. It can also be applied to a situation when a person hasn't changed their profile picture for several years. This indicates a stability of views, a moral maturity, and a lack of the need to show off on social networks to receive emotional stroking in the form of likes and compliments. Such people use social networks to communicate with friends or for work, and not as an opportunity to show themselves in all their glory. They prefer not to photograph moments, but to live them in fullness. Do any of your friends relate to this?
You are watching Locked and Loaded on EKCO Nation.
Okay, so the question was asked: do we relate to this? What do you guys?
So I don't really post a lot of pictures. Like I know Glenn said he hasn't posted in a while. On my Instagram, I currently have a grand total of 0 posts.
Very
Yeah.
interesting.
But I think there was a comment that someone shared,
Mm-hmm.
talking about the fact that sometimes you don't want to share moments. Like you don't want to capture moments and share with others. And I know that one section would have spoken about the fact that sometimes these people don't want to, they just want to live the moment. But I feel like you could still live the moment and capture it and share it as well.
Yeah.
Like what do you think?
Glenn, you want to take it?
Yeah. Well, as I was saying before, a lot of people like to share the moments and share what they have experienced. So that's fine. But when it gets to a point now where you feel the need to share this with people, otherwise it wouldn't be satisfying. That it was is almost like you took the picture for nothing. It's like no, like you took the picture for your enjoyment first, and if you want to share it with someone else, fine. But it always comes back to that attention and validation that people need. And it was talking about filters just now. Now, for me, I am a photographer.
Mhm.
So when I big filters, I do a lot of editing and that kind of
Right.
stuff. So that kind of thing is like natural for me. Like filters, I'm not just gonna take a photo and leave it like that.
Yeah.
Fine. But when it gets to the point now where it's a psychological thing where you have to tell yourself, I need this picture to be filtered before you post it. Otherwise, they won't get that many likes. Otherwise, a lot of people will engage and comment on it and that kind of stuff. Like when it gets to that point, that's when you really need to ask yourself a couple questions, to be honest. And yeah, what do you think, Judah?
I agree with that. And we have a question. If we could just get back the question by Trey, he asks, why is it that negative things are more likely to trend on social media? Because the reason why people engage in negative actions on social media is because that's what attracts the encouragement. I think that's a very true statement. It's a very dangerous truth. And that's especially why we're encouraging everyone to, make that assessment on your own social media. We're encouraging you also to, be honest with yourself about what is it that you're engaging with personally, what you're engaging in, what things you are sharing or finding entertaining. And if that is something that is less than great, we challenge you and we encourage you to, refrain from that kind of conduct because it can be hazardous not only to you, but to other persons who are seeing that as well. We have another comment say from Crystal. Good night, Crystal. She says, I think it have to do with confidence also, lack of confidence. So you post it to get approval or you're just uncomfortable enough to post it. Now that's a fact. And that's a
Yep.
said. Kiki also says, yeah, it can go either way. I say this because when I was younger, I was quiet. However, when I was able to access FB, which is Facebook, I was able to verbalize my thoughts. It became a way for me to find myself, TBH, which means to be honest, for those who wouldn't know. Thank you for that, Kiki. And Mel says, living in the moment can translate differently person to person. That's an interesting statement as
True.
well.
Wow, we have a lot of comments coming in.
Yeah, which is encouraged because
Guys,
Yeah, thank
engage in
you.
the conversation with us.
Yeah,
She
so
said,
Rihanna said, I stopped using filters for so long because
Mhm.
I realized that filters are just like makeup and I hate makeup. We hide our flaws behind filters and I was doing that, but I embraced myself and I set.
And she said, and she
And
touched my
she
heart
said,
because
yeah.
I would have definitely had that kind of experience as
Mhm.
well, specifically with filters. When I was a younger, well, I'm no longer a teenager, so when I was a teen, when I was a teen, I went through that phase, especially with Snapchat and the different filters there. And filters can be fun. Filters in and of themselves, they're great. They're nice. You can see different colors and different effects and stuff, which is fun for a lot of us, especially photographers like Glenn. So we're not
Photographer.
saying that that's yeah, we're not saying that that's wrong, but I definitely do identify with the fact that how we use it can sometimes be a mask and a shield that we put up from our insecurities, and then that can translate to becoming reliant on these filters to feel good about ourselves, so much so that, well, for me personally, there was a point in my life when I didn't feel like I looked beautiful or acceptable for others to see without having a filter on my photos, without finding the right filter. And I think that that translates to a deeper issue, as we were talking about self-esteem, earlier. So it's not just using social media or using filters for fun, but it becomes like a defense mechanism that is eating away at how we value ourselves. And even in this moment, I just want to encourage anyone who may be female or male, because I'm sure that guys go through insecurities as well, that your value is not wrapped up in the filters. They might enhance a bit, but that's not what makes you beautiful, or in persons like Glenn's case, that's not what makes you handsome. So I encourage us
True.
to, yeah, he's representing for the guys here. I encourage everyone to, just, I understand that sometimes it could be challenging, especially when others on social media are always on point and we feel like we have to, look a certain way. But that's not where your real value is. You are valuable just because of who you are with or without a filter.
Okay, I see that Crystal put up a comment saying, I use filters because I want to post my picture, but the camera quality wasn't participating
I
with
see you,
me.
Crystal. I see you,
Yes,
girl.
I I do understand that. We have another one. If you have 6 likes on a photo, that shows who you fully are. There's 6 people who are for you, and those should be valued more than 100 likes on a photo that hides
I like that.
Who
Yeah,
you
bad.
are.
Yeah,
Rihanna. Wow.
thank
Pick
you.
up yourself, Rihanna.
Yep.
Excellent.
Boom.
That is honest. That is correct. That is correct. K Philip K says there can be subtle deception in posting hashtag no filter pics as well. People still look for validation in posting themselves as they are. Maybe I can feel better about myself if I get more likes. That I
Really?
agree. So does Nyla. Shout out to Nyla.
That's
I
true.
agree.
Have you
Mhm.
guys ever seen people like post pictures like they will be insecure, say like they were insecure about their nose, for a while, and they
Mm-hmm.
would post this photo of their whole body, but yet addressing their
Yep.
nose, saying that they have overcame their insecurity of
Wow.
their
Yeah.
nose. And I'm like,
Whew.
your whole body is in the photo though,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I think it's
There's a lot
really
of stuff like that.
interesting. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And even with the comments, we see then that it's not necessarily just a matter of the type of photo that you post, but really and truly, what is your reason? What is
Yep.
your internal reasoning behind why you are posting and what you're posting? So we encourage you
Mm-hmm.
again to think about that.
Yeah, I definitely think that it is a hard thing. Quite recently, I was talking to a friend who told me that she made some changes and that it was a hard thing for her. Like, what was the reason behind why she did what she did? And then she tried to change her heart such that she wouldn't need to be validated by these people. She wouldn't need to seek, approval from others in that respect. And she learned to love herself. So I think that sort of thing is important for us to adopt as individuals, as digital citizens, to check our conduct and see not just what we are doing, but why we are doing what we are doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And more to the Photoshop aspect of things. You have the filters, but then you have Photoshop on different apps like Photoshop where you could really manipulate how you look, your size, your skin tone, and all these different things. How do you guys feel? Well, yeah, how do you guys feel about people who use these applications for these enhancements?
Well,
Judah,
yes.
how do you feel?
I think it's a similar approach to the filters thing. Now, I understand that there's tremendous value in a lot of things that we have access to now, social media on a whole, and even these apps and types of software. But if we are using tools under the guise that we're making ourselves look better or making ourselves feel better, that in itself is actually ironic because what we're doing is cutting down our true value of self in a way because we find it necessary to make these changes to be our best selves, which I think is very ironic.
Yeah, like I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. I know there are people that use Photoshop, and one thing that really interests me is the fact that even celebrities who we follow are using Photoshop. So it's like they're supposed to be perfect, but really and truly, they're not perfect. They're making themselves seem perfect, and then we try to be perfect just like them. Like I don't really get that. I see a comment from Neil and it says your pics and videos kind of define your priority about yourself. Some people focus on the action they're trying to highlight and others focus on how they appear while doing the action.
Very
So
Mm.
true.
true comment. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you. That's a very true comment.
Yeah. We encourage
yeah.
you to come back to on the question that Glenn would have just asked. Like, what do you think about Photoshop and using software like Photoshop to enhance your images or our images? Feel free to send in your comments on that as well.
Sure.
Yep. What do you guys think about that?
And I just want to remind you guys, everyone who is on, to love yourself completely. Don't
Love
worry
it.
about what somebody say or how you
Oh,
look. If you eyebrows in shape properly, if you don't get rounded up since lockdown, don't nobody tell you how you round up, how you here look. Love yourself and
yeah,
embrace
love
yourself.
yourself.
The nail technicians they open for a while and them kind of things, but don't love yourself, be confident in who you are, be confident in your
Mm-hmm.
flaws and everything, and just Just
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
And
very
yeah, that
important.
you raised that as well because lockdown, I think, has been a challenge for all of us, where we
Mm-hmm.
get to really, know about how we feel about ourselves. The self that is waking up probably at 12, rolling out of bed, the hair not done, no nails, as Glenn is saying. The guys, I feel like the brothers out there have been suffering a little bit, but hang in there. We're encouraged, as Glenn said, to love our natural selves as best as we can.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I saw that Philip K said that Photoshop is a form of sorcery.
Oh dear.
It
Yeah.
is, isn't it?
Sorcery.
Yeah. I think in terms of just going back to like Photoshop, I mean, it's just like going back to what we were saying, and then I also want to tie that in with what we would have just spoken about. The fact that now in quarantine time, we don't have our nails done, we're not having our hair done, and it's like we are seeing our true selves. Like we are being forced to accept our true selves. Like we can't make that decision anymore. So for people whose mindsets would not have shifted, they would be in a quite uncomfortable position where it's like, oh, I need to go get my hair done. I need to go get my nails done. So I think that this is a time that we can try to shift our mindsets, not be upset that these places aren't open, but then also just, learn to like accept ourselves. I mean, we're not necessarily going outside right now. So, just to be accustomed to who we are in this time. And you could also pick up a hobby. So learn how to braid your hair and learn how to. I mean, the hair stores are still open, so you can learn to do things too.
Yeah, there is that. And Natasha's here saying that the situation is really serious because she sees primary school girls who, in her opinion, should not have a phone, really into these filters and selfies, and would actually tell you they're doing it for the likes. No, that's a bold thing. And I remember we had an earlier comment from I'm not sure. Oh, Nyla Clark. She said that sometimes people, it's not really that kind of thing that they're looking for. They're just posting it, or that we should know that reality, social media is not reality. That's what she said. And I agree with that. But I also think that for a lot of us, it feels real. It feels even more real sometimes than our real lives, or
Yeah.
the feedback that we get from the likes and the comments under the certain types of photos or videos might be more validation that we get in our homes or from our personal relationships. So even though some of us, we're all strong and what's not, and we don't feel that kind of way, or we can distinguish between social media validation and reality, for others of us, we might still have, a bit of ways to go in terms of realizing that.
And I think that even now that we're in quarantine, right, social media has somewhat become our reality. So like we're always on our phones. That's how we're communicating with people. That's how we're getting through with people. That is our world. So it can be very destructive, especially now. I love that Naila knows that, it's not real. It's not a real world. But there are some people who don't necessarily understand that. And I know that Ghazi, while he was talking about digital citizenship, he spoke about the COPA app and the fact that, if you're under 13, then you had to lie about you had to lie about your age. There are people that do that. There are people that do that. So they get involved in social media. And that involvement is separate from like their knowledge of the fact that social media and the real world are two distinct things. Like they may not be able to grasp that, and then they grow on social media not necessarily knowing the distinct, like making the distinction between the two. So I think it's very important. It's very good that you know that they're different, but that's something that now other people have to accept for themselves and realize for themselves.
Yeah,
It's true.
definitely.
And like Trey was saying, like sometimes social media is someone's reality, and that's true. Like there in this discussion, there are two types of people. There are people who have broken free from that reality that social media is everything, and I need to keep up to date. I need to look a certain way on social media, and be kind of chained and shackled by it. And then there are the people, who just have opposite views altogether. So like we got to help those who are chained by the social media laws that to know this is not real life. This is not fulfillment. You cannot get true satisfaction by the amount of likes that you have, by the amount of views you have on a video. Like this is not satisfying. It's not something that could fulfill you. Like when you, I remember actually this was a couple years ago. I was frustrated for some reason, and I decided I want a sabbatical from social media altogether. So I turned off my
Mhm.
phone and I put my phone in my cupboard, top cupboard, throw it back in the back of the cupboard, can't reach it. So, and this was the month of December, from the beginning of December. I said I done with social media, done,
Wow.
I done. I didn't tell my friends anything. I didn't tell them I was taking a sabbatical. I had deadlines and I had things to do. I just did not care. I just threw everything one side and spent that time focusing on myself, on better relationships with people that who are immediately around me, and people at work and that kind of thing. So like for me, that entire month, it was so refreshing to actually remember the value in face-to-face communication, to value those conversations on the phone, and like it was just extremely refreshing. It's something that I encourage people to do. To don't get up, don't wake up and tell yourself, let you check and see what's going on your phone now. Get up, go and tell your family good morning, get them a hug, start a little conversation. You're gonna feel much better. And texting
Yeah.
somebody and tell them good morning. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me. Yep.
I must say though, Glenn, I think that is a really great and brave thing that you've done, because for a lot of us, we might have what's called FOMO, FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. But for you, embracing that, you would have had
Jomo. Jomo.
Jomo.
Jomo. Jomo.
joy. And we encourage you to share that hashtag and think about all the things that we can do without that help to make our lives better. And we can say hashtag Joe, I don't mind missing out on this because it is good for me. And so we are coming to the end of our discussion. We just want to leave a few takeaways with you guys. Sharon, what would you like to leave the audience with tonight?
Okay, guys, so we would have touched a lot of topics. I want to thank each and every one of you who logged on, who would have been commenting throughout the discussion. We didn't get to necessarily touch all of the comments, but we are reading as they come through, and we really appreciate you. So,
Mhm.
so definitely, even before I just like wrap up, I just want to say that also when you look at your selfies that you take, just think about what other people are how they interpret it, like what message they're getting from it. And remember that not just your friends may be viewing it, but sometimes depending on how we where we post and where it gets, there could be businesses that do end up looking at your selfies, at things that you post, and they do make judgments in terms of like, okay, am I gonna hire this person, or if you're
Right.
applying for visa. So those are things that we also have to consider. So we would have spoken about the different things in terms of like the driving factors. Like, is it celebrity influences? Is it that we just want validation, which is like a common theme throughout the whole night? The fact that we want validation, but what can we do about it?
Mhm.
What can we do about it? And we have to we have to look for the real value, like why are we doing what we are doing. So that's something that we have to really investigate, and that we have to try to change. So we have to see what we can do, see how we can shift our mindsets, definitely. And then it's also important to find positive mentors, other young people who rather don't want to be posting these things, who have their mindsets in the right places. um, so yeah, anything that you guys want to add to that?
I just want to encourage everyone, to be honest. And, most importantly, to love themselves. It always starts there, and recognizing your true value, and knowing what is important. Yes, Sharon. Yep, and that's it for me. What about you, Judah?
Yeah, I agree with both of what you guys are saying, especially part about valuing ourselves. In my journey to valuing myself more so than looking for social media validation, one piece of advice, or what I would say, a passage really stuck out to me, which is taken from Psalms 139, verse 14 says, "You're fearfully and wonderfully made." And that speaks to God's intention in how He
Man.
specifically crafted the wonderful work of art that you are. And I'm speaking to you, every single one that is watching. Yes, every single person that's watching this. So just as Glenn was saying, find your true value. Persons cannot give you that value. You already have it, so embrace that. And even as we're talking about social media and so on, and a lot of our commenters did acknowledge there's a great set of good things that are happening, a lot of good uses for social media and posting and different ventures that young people are doing out there. And even as we get into that, now we're going to go into this segment of the show, which is called What's Trending. And tonight we're going to highlight one specific example of something good that a bunch of young people got together, led by one Ivana Oda. We're just going to welcome her and she can tell us all about that. Good night, Ivana.
You are watching Locked and Loaded on EKCO Nation.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Hi, Ivana. How are you?
I'm alright. Thanks. How are you all?
I'm great.
We're good.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent show you have going on here today.
Yeah. How has your quarantine been?
Quite eventful. I've been here now trying to strike that balance between relaxing and using the time to develop myself in different areas. And that has been the main challenge for me. But so far, it has been definitely a period of growth, a period of learning new things, and even taking part in the project that we are featuring here today. That has been like a really great experience for me. So yeah, quarantine has been all right, despite the circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. So you would have organized a virtual choir. Can you tell us about that? Like, what made you decide to start this?
Well, really and truly, the Holy Spirit was the spearhead and the mastermind behind this whole process. It wasn't anything that I thought of on my own. The whole idea came about when a friend of mine from the UK jokingly told me, hey, we should do a collab, singing and stuff. And I thought, you laughing, but you're onto something. This is something we can actually do. So immediately I went to round up some people, and I was just so taken aback by the response that I got from everyone. Even Judah here with us, she was involved, and it was just a matter of watching God just put things in place, and I've been overwhelmed by how so many people have been blessed by it.
Fantastic. So you would have said that a friend from the UK told you about it. So is that friend in this virtual choir? Like who are the people in this virtual choir?
Yeah. So we have some members from my church that I would attend in the UK because I'm currently undergoing studies there.
Mm-hmm.
And her name is Priscilla. So she was one of the ad-lib soloists during Jesus section of the song. So yeah, we have those church choir members. We have members from Pure Harmony, of which Judah's a part. We have like 5 members of the 17 from Pure Harmony. I have some friends from Harrison College who I would have known through the choir. Yeah. I would have also had some other friends that I would have asked who I knew were singers involved in worship teams and other choirs that decided, yes, they were interested in taking part.
Okay, fantastic. And in total, how many people are in this choir?
17 people. It is not an established choir, rather just, a group of people that wanted to make a difference.
Right, they wanted to make a difference. Now I want you to speak specifically about the song that was chosen, because it seems to be a very fitting song, especially for this quarantine time. So the song is My World Needs You by Kirk Franklin. So who chose the song? Why was the song chosen? What are your opinions on everything that would have happened regarding the song?
Again, this was a move of the Holy Spirit. As I was rounding up people, I didn't have a song yet. And a lot of people were asking me, so what song are we doing? What song are we doing? And Ethan Ward, who was also supposed to be a part, but unfortunately because of unique responsibilities, he couldn't. But he randomly just said, hey, I have a suggestion for you, even though I didn't ask. He said, My World Needs You. And I listened to the song and immediately I just knew this was it. Because that song is so relevant to the times that we live in and is relevant
Right.
always, because we always will face challenges on this earth. But we must recognize that God is in control. He has the power. We can depend upon Him. And yeah, it was such a great thing to see all of those who were involved stand unashamed to represent Jesus and call on His name with that song.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ivana. So that would be, we're gonna now show My World Needs You by the virtual choir.
Show me your face. Fill up this space. My world needs you right now. My world needs you right now. I can't escape being afraid. Fill me with you right now. My world needs you right now.
Show me your face. Fill up the space. My world needs you right now. My world needs you right now. I can't escape being afraid. Fill me with you right now. My world needs you right now. Powerful love, bring within a sound that points us to you right now. Erase substitutes right now. Fix what I say, and God, please fix me. My one is you right now. Let us see you right now. Powerful down, bring within a sound that points us to you right now. Erase substitutes right now. Fix what I see, and God, please fix me. My world needs you right now. Let us see you right now. Every heart in the world, God needs you to rescue. Oh, storms have come and torn our hearts in two. We need you. Show me your face. Fill up this space. My world needs you right now. My world needs you right now.
Storms may come, but when we call your name, all things change, and kingdoms fall. One thing forever reigns is your name. That's what I'm not ashamed to say. Come on. Jesus. Jesus. Oh, there's power in your name. Jesus. Nobody like you, Jesus. Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Jesus. That's where the power is. Jesus. You have all the authority. Jesus. Only you are the great I am. You're the King of kings, the Lord of lords, even so. Some say come, but when we call your name, all things change. Kingdoms fall, one thing forever reigns. Is your name. Oh, how sweet to know your praise. The nation stays the same. Show me your face, fill up this space. My world needs you right now. My world needs you right now.
You are watching Locked and Loaded on EKCO Nation.
Okay, so we just want to say
Yeah.
thank you so much, Ivana. Thank you for putting that together because we know you've given the credit to God, which is fantastic. We do want to show some appreciation for the initiative and the work that you put in to get everyone together and doing that, because that, I'm sure, it has blessed a lot of people and it continues to encourage persons as they see. So we want to thank you so much for even being willing to come on to the show and, to let us know about the good things that you, as one of the young people out there, have been doing during your quarantine. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Wow, guys, that video was beautiful. That was beautiful.
That was amazing.
I was enjoying it. I don't know why it had to end, but it did for some reason. Looking forward to the next video from the choir, so I could be in it, to be honest. But guys, I just want to thank you for watching our first episode of Locked and Loaded. It was amazing. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for your interest in this show. Thank you, guys. I just want to remind you guys, as we talk tonight about social media and digital citizenship and all these things, guys. I just want to remind you to find your true value, find a positive mentor to lean on, and social media. Remember that social media gives a false, a deceiving and false sense of value, guys. So I just want to encourage you to love yourselves, to find your value. And you could always rewatch this show on EKCO Nation's YouTube channel. Follow EKCO Nation on Instagram, and you can follow them on Facebook as well. Subscribe to YouTube channel, guys. Thank you again for watching. Thank you very much. We appreciated it. Next week we'll be back. We will be back next week, guys. So
We'll be back.
yeah, next week Tuesday at 8 p.m. Look out for it. Thanks, guys.
And we also want to talk about Chill Vibes coming up this Friday. That is Friday the 15th on EKCO Nation's YouTube as well at 7:30 p.m. And we will be featuring Jaco Lawrence. Wow, who would have guessed it? He's definitely one of our major artists here, right here from Barbados. So we encourage you to come out to that. It's going to be really exciting. Those who would have been watching Chill Vibes every week since lockdown, we know it's been a vibe. It's been really good. So for those who have not yet checked it out, we encourage you, we invite you to come in, invite your friends for Chill Vibes on Friday the 15th as well. Sharyn, you want to say anything as we close off? Oh, thank you, Gazi.
I think we did enough of that.
Remember to do the challenge. Do a video of you saying digital citizenship 3 times as quickly as you can. And you can tag us, tag locked X loaded. Locked X loaded. And be sure remember to also check EKCO Nation website. That's EKCONation.com, and you can find out more about EKCO Nation as a charity. See if you want to get involved in any way, shape, form. Yeah. So yes, I just want to thank each and every one of you once again. Share with your friends. And as you like and follow and subscribe, look out for more content to see what fun things we do. And yeah, just bring along your friends, bring along your family next week as we look to have some fun times.
Let us know what you think of our show in the comments and even in our DMs on our social media pages as well. Thank you so much for joining us and have a wonderful night.
Bye.
Bye.
Standing up for the truth. Hear it loud, hear it strong. And we not turn it down. Hear the voice of the youth. Standing up for the truth.
You are watching Locked and Loaded on EKCO Nation.